Right, let's put the gun back together again. Put the spring back on the barrel. Take hold of the slide, make sure that the gun is cocked, make sure the hammer is cocked like that. Let's put these out of the way. Right, you place the slide over, making sure you've got the trigger guard pulled open and catch to one side. You won't be able to get the slide on if you haven't done that. This can be a bit of a struggle, so just bear with me. I wouldn't recommend doing this very often if I were you, because it can be a complete pain to do. There we are. Finally, it's all to do with actually aligning the barrel with the hole in the end of the slide. That's the problem. Right, that's that. That's that. So now the gun is safe. You can put the magazine in and out with the gun on safe. What I do, because it's so difficult to get the magazine out, I put this little lanyard through there's this little spring steel catch on the bottom there. Don't know if you can see it. Let's try and see if we can get it to catch the light. There is just a little spring steel lump. Now you try and move that with your finger. It's doable, but quite honestly it's hard work. So it's hollow, so what I've done is run a piece of paracord through it and made a little lanyard out of it, and just to make it more useful I put a little hook on the end of it, and I hook the hook onto the magazine ring so that if I drop the magazine it doesn't hit the floor. Okay, we'll go outside and we'll give it a check over. We'll test it, we'll shoot it at 7 yards at a target and see how accurate this thing actually is. Right, okay, we're going to do this test now with the Makarov CO2 pistol. I've got to gas up the magazine, put the CO2 in it, so I'll just come over here. Here's the CO2 capsule, my silicone oil, 1 drop on the top, like that, seal that up, goes everywhere. Now the actual magazine itself, you drop the CO2 capsule in like that. Can you see? It's just held in very gently now. Now what I have to do is I have to screw up this screw here until I get the gas coming through. So let's just do that. 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns. It's quite stiff. It's quite stiff, but I suppose that's reassuring. Okay, so that should be gassed up now. We'll soon find out. Just put it in the gun. Wipe around, cock the gun, and let's see what happens. I've got it lined up against the target. Let's see what happens. Okay, here we are, we're back, and let's see how the Makarov pistol by Baikal actually did. So, when we look at the target here, you'll see hole, 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 and 3. That's 6 shots at 7 meters, which is a reasonable range for one of these things. And as you can see, we've got 1 out here, 1 out here, and a group of 4 here. Now that points the way to the fact that I reckon that if the gun is allowed to settle down a little bit, I shoot it a bit more, perhaps lubricate it a bit better, it might tighten up these groups somewhat, but that's about a ½ inch group for those 4. It spreads out to about 1.5 inches if you include these flyers, which is not so good, but the potential is there. The other thing, of course, is what's the gun like to shoot? Well, in fact, let's bring it back here. The magazine is out, there's nothing in it, so it's completely safe. I'll do that. The gun is got a very, very nice single action trigger pull. It's a little squishy, but it's certainly better than most of the ones I've tried, as you can see. And double action wise, well, it's not so mild, if you know what I mean. It's actually quite a stiff pull. I know I shouldn't pull it like that, but In fact, it's so robust, you really have to give it some effort to fire it. But it's not as bad as some, because it actually goes off crisply. I reckon you could shoot some fairly reasonable groups double action with this. As you can certainly shoot some decent groups single action. It's up to you. This is my own personal one. I'm going to modify it a little bit more. I'm going to, if I just open it up again, cock it. I'm actually going to take another couple of coils off this recoil spring here, because it's fearsomely difficult to do what I'm doing now with. You have to really struggle with the thing to get the slide back on. Well, there you are. That's just the way it is. I'm just going to cut that spring down a little bit more to make it a bit easier to put the slide on and off. But in the general course of events, you wouldn't want to do that. It actually has no bearing at all on what you're doing shooting wise. Shooting wise, it's a nice gun to shoot. It's a good weight. It certainly is a very nice trainer for the real thing. It behaves exactly the same way as the real thing would, and it is the same thing. It's the same weight, same balance, same everything. So I recommend it. I think it's good. You can buy spare seals for it from various people who sell the gun. They'll also sell the seal kits. You can buy accessory magazines as well, even though they're quite pricey. So it's got all those things in its favour. The ammunition to use, the only ammunition to use, are these Gamo round 177 balls. They are the right thing for the gun, and very hard hitting indeed. I don't know how powerful it is, but it flattens those lead balls when they hit a steel target, I can tell you. So that's it, my review of the Makarov 177 CO2 pistol made by Baikal. Thanks for watching.